Hello, and welcome to this month's webinar brought to you by Eisenhower Coaching Consulting. My name is Brad Baldwin, and I'm excited to bring this very unique informational webinar to you today. Before I start to speak, though, I want to make sure that everybody that's on the line right now can hear us. So if you wouldn't mind, please just type in the chat box, yes, I can hear you. Good to go, thumbs up, something like that. Just want to make sure that you can hear us. A lot of people today. Yeah, just type in the chat box. Yes, I can hear you. We're good to go, that sort of thing. Okay, I got it. I got the thumbs up. Thank you guys. Oh yes. Okay. All right. I got the responses are coming through right now. Well, again, my name is Brad Baldwin. I'm with Eisenhower Coaching Consulting. Real quick, before you, if those of you that don't know us, we are one of the top real estate coaching and consulting firms in North America. We're based out of Morro Bay, California, which is Central Coast, California. We have over 500 clients. Brian Eisenhower, the CEO and founder of Eisenhower Coaching Consulting, has been coaching top agents and brokerages now for over 30 years. And myself, I've been working with Brian now for about a decade, coaching agents, teams, a lot of the top teams and brokerages. Most of the clients that we have are in the top 100 of the Real Trends list year after year. And our client base is growing rather quickly right now. We've got a lot of people that are coming on board, and we like to see that. If you would like more information about becoming one of our coaching clients, after this video, or after this webinar, I should say, we will have a link that you can sign up for a free 30-minute strategy session. And it's not a sales pitch or anything, but if you want more information, or maybe you have some questions about the webinar today or something that's challenging in your business, please sign up. We're here to help. We're happy to help with you, or help your issues out. That's our value proposition. The only reason that we do this is we want to help as many people as possible. We just don't want to give you knowledge. We don't want to just teach. We actually want to coach you and get you into a place where you have the life that you deserve, and the wealth building that you deserve through this great industry that we call real estate. Because I've been selling real estate now for over 20 years, and it's literally changed my life, and I love every minute of it. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the material today. It's called 100 Inbound Calls in a Day Challenge, and it's something that you probably never heard of before. And what this is about is from coaching people for a very long time. One of the struggles that we see is people don't want to talk to people sometimes. We just want you to talk to your SOI. I don't care if you do it by phone, if you do it in person, even if you DM them or text them. We need you guys to talk to your sphere of influence database. We all know, in fact, it's a stat that 80% of the business done in real estate is done through somebody that you know. It's a referral, acquaintance, a friend, maybe a family member, maybe a past client, but it does come through people you know. And there's people that you don't know that might want to engage with you, right? Given that you have a strong value proposition. Okay. So we have two things that we've been working on now. One of them's a little bit more established, and that is client events. We teach client events. We like client events because there's 12 contacts around a client event. It's not the event itself, it's the contacts. It's a series of phone calls and voicemail drops and emails and social media posts and touches that you can do around your clients. That it's fun. It's a system around a client event that does bring you referrals. It keeps you top of mind, and it's something that clients really enjoy. Well, this next thing that we are doing, and it's been going on again for a couple of years. It's not something brand new because it's time tested and approved, and I'm going to show you some of the stats here in a little bit. is what we call an inbound challenge, where if you guys have ever prospected before, you sometimes you'll hear it called Money Monday, and you're locked in a room and you've got a telephone and you're making a lot of outbound calls, and it's 8 or 9 hours, and you have pizza and what have you, and you're making a lot of outbound calls to people. And frankly, sometimes you get to 100, sometimes you don't. That's great and all. It's totally a way to get business. But yet, if we had a value proposition out there to get people to call us, how would that change your world? If you just sat there on Thursday, this webinar being on Thursday, and your phone was ringing off the hook with people calling you, wouldn't that be awesome? I think it would be great. And that's what we're going to teach you how to do today. I'm going to take you through all the steps. And after the webinar, you're going to get a checklist with this system. Anything that you do like this, client events or an inbound call challenge, is we have to make it a system. Leaders have systems, leaders have models, leaders have checklists. And I see a lot of that where this goes wrong is if you're not following the system. Like if you're doing a client event, for instance, and you're just a realtor and you're throwing a party, it might not be as successful as if you had a step-by-step system. So if you want some more information about getting a step-by-step system for client events or this, like I said, sign up for the call. We'll teach you how to do that, or get with your ICC coach. A lot of our coaching clients are on the webinar today too. Back to the inbound calls challenge though. We do have to have a value proposition. We have to have a reason for people to call us. So I'll tell you a quick 2 to 3 minute story of how this came about. Is I was talking to one of my favorite clients in South Carolina, and we were talking. He does a lot of client events. Does a client event about maybe 5 times a year. He really enjoys them. His clients enjoy him, and he's got about a database of about 1,500 people of a sphere of influence database. The guy does a lot of business. Now, don't let that freak you out. If you don't have 1,500, you have 300. Well, maybe your numbers might not be the same. But as we continue to grow it, it will come to fruition. So don't think that if you don't have a database of 1,500, this won't work. I've seen it also work with a database of 100. And what we're talking about on the call is, like, I asked them the question: how can you get 100 people to call you in a day? Right? That's a coaching question. How can I get 100 people to call you in a day to get them thinking outside their normal thinking so the client can grow? Right. So we started talking about it, and I've been working on this idea with another coach, beyond, kind of in our inner circle, talking about this as well, because I know that in today's world, people don't like to talk on the phone, but yet the phone is very, very effective right now. So very effective. In fact, if you were going to start investing in a call center, because of the internet, we phones are coming back. People want to talk to people. And but the thing is, sometimes when you call somebody, they're busy. And so that's why sometimes you get voice messages and what have you. But man, if they call you, right, that means that they want to talk to you. Okay. So I'm going to date myself a little bit, and I'll be vulnerable with you guys. I'm 42 years old. And I remember when we actually listened to the radio, and there was a concert going on, and I'll just kind of keep this vanilla on the music, but let's say the Rolling Stones had a concert going on, and the radio station would come on. They would say, hey, be the 10th caller to win 2 tickets to the Rolling Stone concert this Saturday, right? And then we'd pick up the phone and we would call, and we'd call, and we would hope to be the 10th caller. And when we were the 10th caller, we won the tickets. But again, it was something valuable. It was something that made us call in, right? So I got to thinking with another coach of mine, a buddy of mine, when we were talking, we were like, why can't we do that in real estate, right? And so I talked to this client about it, and we were talking, and I said, well, what would make someone call you? And he goes, I don't know, maybe a free market report. I was like, no, man. I don't think we're going to get 100 people to call you for your free market report or like your pumpkin pie recipe. But there is something that we can do to get them to call you. Just think about what you would want. What if the radio station called you right now and said, be the 10th caller, what would you want? right? And he thought, okay, well, this particular client lived in South Carolina, and if you ever been in the southern part of the United States during the summer months, it is quite hot. It's quite humid. Yeah, in fact, it's pretty miserable. And this was in the middle of August. And he says, you know what? I would call in for a Yeti cooler because we love Yeti coolers. We're going to the beach this weekend, and they keep ice so cold. It's so hot here, like the ice melts out of a regular cooler. I said, bingo, there you go, right? I said, what if we did a promotion where if we got people to call you at one day, and their name would go into a drawing, and if they were drawn, you could win this Yeti cooler brought to you by the ABC real estate team. What do you think of that idea? It was just an idea, and he loved it, right? He says, I think this will work. I said, I know it'll work. So we came up with a plan. And how we started with this is we did come up with the value proposition, the Yeti cooler. Okay. Now it doesn't have to be a Yeti cooler. I've seen this work with spa days for Mother's Day. I'm an avid golfer, and I'm a dad too. I'm an avid golfer. In fact, I'm golfing at my country club this Saturday. It could be a round of golf for you and a buddy for Father's Day. I've seen this work with pie giveaways. Some of you guys do pie giveaways. Maybe think about putting this twist on it. I've seen it work with baseball tickets or football tickets or soccer tickets or sporting event tickets. There's a lot of many things you can do as a value proposition, but it's got to get something interesting. It's something cool where somebody will call in and to enter into the drawing. Okay. So first thing we came up with was a value proposition. And it happened to be, on this particular case, a Yeti cooler. All right. After we did that, I said, all right, so the first thing that we have to have, and I'm going to walk you through the checklist today, and you're going to get this checklist over the webinar. And I'm just going to take you on a step-by-step basis as we put this together with this particular client, and really came into a system kind of willy-nilly as we talked about it in our coaching calls. And so the first thing you have to do is you have to have an organized database. I can't stress that enough. You have to get your database organized to where you have contact information of some sort for all your people, a phone number or an email address. If you don't have both, that's okay. But we do have to have them organized in some way, and in a CRM, maybe even a spreadsheet. We got to have them organized because we're going to reach them on multiple levels through social media, phone and email. And this might be a place where I want to intertwine, because everybody says, okay, they enter a drawing, they call you, what's the deal? Well, here's the thing. They got to call in on Thursday, between 9 and 5 o'clock, and answer 3 questions. All right. And by answering those 3 questions, you get entered into the drawing. What are the 3 questions? Well, number 1, hey, we want to make sure that our database is updated. We just have your phone number. Looks like we're missing an email. Could we get that? Or, hey, we're missing an address, or we're missing a phone number, however it might be. We've got to have that. Okay. The second question, who do you know that I should know that's looking to buy real estate in 2020? Okay. I'm just using 2020 because that's it. Who do you know that I should know that's looking to buy real estate in 2020? Now, this guy happens to also be a very large real estate team. So we threw a third question in there. Who do you know that's looking for a career change and would like a career in real estate? Because he's looking for talent. He's looking for people for his real estate team. So he had 3 questions there. So you might have 2 questions. You might have 3. I don't know, depending on who you are. But you do have to have the question, hey, I want to make sure my database is updated, number 1. Number 2, who do you know that we should know that's looking to buy or sell real estate in 2020 for referrals? Okay. So those are the 3 questions that they ask when they come in. So we've got our database organized. We got our 3 questions. We got our value proposition. We have a date for the event. And for the purposes of this video, let's just say next Thursday is the event. You also are going to need a mass texting service. Here at Eisenhower Coaching and Consulting, we use a mass texting service called Easy Text. It's Easy Text. Another one is Scipio. Scipio is a great mass texting platform, a mass email service like MailChimp, or maybe you have one through your CRM or Constant Contact, something like that. You also are going to need a voicemail drop system like Sly Broadcast or Sly Dial. And if you can't write this fast, don't worry about it. It's all going to be in the notes. You're also going to need some kind of a camera equipment. Now, you don't have to have a fancy camera. You can just have an iPhone like this, and just make sure that you have a great microphone. Sound in a video is so much better than just the video quality itself, okay? So you got to have some kind of video if you're going to be using your iPhone. They're like $50 on Amazon, very cheap. Get a microphone. And now you've got all the equipment that you need. You've got your microphone, you've got your mass texting service, you got your Sly Broadcast. The last piece that you need is you need a way to collect all their information. You can use that on a Google form. You can use pen and paper. I don't really care, but you got to have a way when they call in to collect their leads, to collect their updated their contact information. You might even do it in your CRM right when they call in, and that's up to you. But you got to have a way to collect the information. All right. Now let's just say we're doing this event next Thursday on the 19th, and we're sitting here on March 12th. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create all of our media footage. I would make a video, sort of like this, pretty short and sweet. And I would, in this case, his Yeti cooler, we went down to the beach. We took a video of him, holding the Yeti cooler up. The people were pulling out cold drinks and things of that nature, and shot a picture of the beach so you could kind of see where like a Yeti cooler could play in your life. And then he told them and he had his whole team there. And what he told them is like, hey, call in next Thursday between 9 and 5 o'clock. Get entered for a chance. If you answer 3 simple questions, get entered into a chance to win this Yeti cooler. All right. And which was really cool. Right. And that's what he did. He shot that video. He shot several, just reminder videos. He shot as many videos as he could to preload the system. Right. We are real estate agents. We're not videographers, and we're not movie stars. But we do need to create videos. And if you could do that all in one day, it saves the hassle of having to do it multiple times. So that would be a tip that I would give you right off the bat. 7 days before the event, we sent out a video email through BombBomb. Okay, this guy uses BombBomb. If you don't have BombBomb, you could use MailChimp and embed a YouTube video in it. Perhaps you could even maybe take a picture or video with your iPhone and email it out that way. But you have to have some kind of an email video system explaining the event for your audience. We're also going to post that same video on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, maybe even Snapchat, maybe even TikTok. We got to have it out on all the social media platforms. I would leave it off LinkedIn. LinkedIn is kind of a business page. It's not so much social. I don't know how well that would set with the LinkedIn audience. That's just my opinion. To each their own. Then the next day, we're going to send out a Sly Broadcast, which is going to skip their phones and go straight to their voice message, just announcing the event, the time and the date, call in, can't wait to hear from you, hope all is well, that sort of thing. I hope you make next Thursday the best call of the day when you call in, answer 3 simple questions, and get entered for a free Yeti cooler. Okay, that would be the kind of voice message that I would leave. We're also going to send them a mass text, and the mass text is just some words. Some people even make a picture with some text in the picture that you could create on Canva or something like that. And, that would be something that you could do as well. So we're going to send out a Sly Broadcast and a mass text. We're going to skip a couple days. Okay, that was Friday. So we're going to skip to Monday, and we're going to send out another email video again with a reminder message about Thursday. Okay. It's going to be saying, hey, don't forget to call in 888-555-1212 Thursday between 9 and 5 to enter the Yeti cooler. I hope to make the best call of your day. Can't wait to hear from you. That's what the video would say. And it'd be pretty short and sweet like that. You could even be walking down the street. Don't make it so formal. Make it fun, because that's how it needs to be. This is a social event. It's to get people to call you, and that's it. It's really cool. So make it fun. Next piece of that, and this is kind of a different view of looking at things, is we're going to reach as many people as we can. So we want emails, we want texts, we want voicemail drops. We also want Instagram, Facebook stories. Okay. So not necessarily a post, but a story. If you've ever noticed, when you pull up your Facebook app or your Instagram app, there's people up there in the stories that you never see their posts, but you see their stories, right? So it's a way to kind of get around the average post in the news feed, and we're going to be posting in those stories 3 days before the event. Now, Wednesday, one day before the event, we're going to send out another mass text reminder. Okay. So no more slide broadcasts. They're on to that. You got to be very careful about your slide broadcast because people get onto that. One is plenty. Mass text is fine. I got a mass text for an event that I'm going to next month. Again, today, he slide broadcasted me yesterday. I'm not offended at all. And it's very good. Now, if he slide broadcasted me twice, I would get a little annoyed because I don't really like voice messages. I like text messages. That's just me personally. Like a lot of people feel the way I do. That's why 90% of your text messages get opened, maybe even 95%, and only 10% of your emails. So that you got to have it on multiple platforms. Now, the day of the event, guys, is where you need to shine. We're going to be on social media a lot. We're going to be live on social media. We're going to have a lot of Instagram posts. We're going to have a lot of stories going on. We're going to have our Snapchat in full force. Where I want you to get your team behind you. The phones are going crazy here. We're picking up phones, and even if they're not picking up, make it look like that, because that creates FOMO. Fear of missing out is FOMO for short. And we want to create that fear of missing out because that's going to get people excited to call you. Remind them about to call you, let them know how it's going, let them know how many people have called in, that sort of thing. I want you to create a buzz, if you will, around the event that day. Now, and don't forget about the 3 questions. All right, the 3 questions. Do we have all your contact information? Who do you know that we should know that's looking to buy or sell real estate in 2020? And who do you know that's interested in a career change? In fact, a career change in real estate. Great questions. Okay. Sometimes people do this the day of the event at the end. Some people do it the next day. I prefer to do it the next day because, again, like a client event, it's an additional touch. Okay. We have the event virtual this day. So the next day is an additional touch. And we have the drawing. Now, this is super, 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 super important. If you don't take anything away from this webinar, take this away. People are not into you. Okay. They don't like you to post houses. I don't know if they really even like to see you talk in a business environment, at least like I'm in. Some of them like to see you talk. You'll get some engagement in that. They don't like to see your houses. And if you ever posted a house on social media, you'll see it only gets 1 or 2 likes. Now, if you post a picture of your dog with reindeer antlers on his head for Christmas time, you'll get 584 likes. There's a reason for that, because Facebook recognizes how many people are engaging with that post, and you go up in the feed. It's called the Facebook algorithm. And there's an entire course on this in our SOI course in our online learning center at therealestatetrainer.com. If you want to know more about it, please contact us, sign up for that call. We'll help you with that. But back to the story is, I do not want you sitting there saying, Bobby Lou Bick Bick won the Yeti cooler. That is not going to engage people. Okay. We're going to have to engage some things that people click on. And what do people click on? They click on kids. They click on pets. They click on sporting events. They click on pretty pictures or nice environments, right? So if it was me doing this drawing, and I hate to use the word me, but let's just say it was me, I would get all three of my kids and maybe Fred, my dog, and I would go down to the Chiefs Stadium. I'm a huge Chiefs fan. And I would go down, I'd maybe go down to the Chiefs Stadium and I would do the drawing there, right? And that would be something that people would engage with. They could relate to kids, Chiefs, me, drawing, winner. They're going to engage more on your post, which is very, very, very important. We want to see all the people that didn't call in. We want them to create FOMO too. Next, you should be our clients, right? You should engage with us. And then once we find that winner, we're going to tag them in the post. That's going to go out to all their database. And now you're creating a web of things, right? So you've got your inbound call 100 challenge. You got your client events. And now you got value propositions all over the place. You're interacting with people, and what you are doing in a nutshell between this and your client events is you're creating a community. You're creating a community inside your database. And if you ever noticed, kind of like a Facebook group, or that's might be a bad example. If you ever notice a tight-knit community, maybe I'll go back to my country club example, for instance. We have a community there at the country club. Most of us all know each other. Most of us give business back and forth to each other. We all know each other, and we're the first that you think of because we're a very tight-knit group. All right. And there's only I think there's like 400 or 500 of us, but that's a lot of people. But yet, if you could get your database doing that, right? You get your concierge service working with your vendors list, and you got vendors in there and they're all talking to one another. You've got past clients and regular families and everything. They're talking to one another. They see each other at client events. They become friends. And it's all centered around you. You're the one that did that, right? By just providing value. Now, one of the things that this particular client said is he said, man, that Yeti cooler is kind of expensive. I said, yeah, they're very expensive. They're like $400 or $500. But yet, think about mailers or think about something you bought in the past. I'm sure it cost you $400 or $500, or maybe you sent 2,000 mailers to some place without any kind of system or whatever, just willy-nilly, and no engagement, and it probably cost you $400 or $500. At least this is something that can cost you, or at least this is something that you can do that will create income for you. Now, let me give you the results of this inbound 100. Okay, he had 108 people call him. He set 18 listing appointments. He took 11 listings, okay? And because he is an Eisenhower Coaching Consulting client, he knows how to price those listings right. He knows how to get them sold through our marketing plan, right? Through our farming marketing plan. In every single neighborhood that he goes into, he sold every single one of them, creating $82,500 in GCI in 1 month. That, my friend, will buy a lot of coolers. A lot of coolers. In fact, he sent me one. I've got it in my truck right now. Just as a thank you, but I didn't do nothing. The client did all the work, but yes, that is a lot of money. And that was created from that tight-knit community and that challenge. And now he's doing that. He's going to do it again this summer. He's doing one for Mother's Day. He did one around Christmas time. Come by and get your tree here in my office, or enter a free tree. It was actually a big, nice artificial tree. It was very expensive. One just like a tree that you get a lot, which was pretty cool idea. I don't know if I would do it all around Christmas, but to each their own again. And so he's got 2 or 3 of those planned out for the year, in addition to his client events, 4 or 5 a year. Now we've got like 10 things happening with about 10 or 11 contacts around those 10 things, right? So that's 100, 115 contacts you're giving to your database, but yet it's not just a market report. It's not a pumpkin pie recipe. It's not a phone call saying, hey man, this is a business call. Who do you know can you give me some referrals? It's not that. You're inviting them to a party. You're telling them, hey, call in and win stuff. You're interacting with them, but when they do interact with you, they will start to interact with you at those client events. They will interact with you on their phone when they call into you. And you are going to ask them the question, but they're a lot more relaxed because it's around a value proposition. It's around something very fun and very cool. So I hope you enjoy this webinar. In fact, right now we're going to take about 5-10 minutes. I want to answer any questions that you might have. If you've got a question for this, please type it down in the box. And if you don't have any questions, that's fine too. Sign up for the 30-minute free strategy session. We'd be happy to talk to you about it more. You can always reach us at 805-980-7027. Call or text if you want some more information. We'd be happy to help you out. But right now, we're going to take a few questions and we'll go from there. What dates do you see for the best drawing? What are the, I'm assuming that you're asking, what are the best dates? Typically, I would say probably a Friday. Most people are doing a whole lot on Friday, and they're probably not doing a whole lot on Monday. Sometimes Mondays, there's a lot of holidays and people are traveling. Whenever I have people do this, or client events for that matter, try to do it around Friday, maybe even Saturday for client events. Usually Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, people are hard at work and doing their thing. So usually Fridays are the best, maybe Mondays being second choice. Good question. Thank you for that comment. It says, thank you for the great idea. Yeah, you know, I appreciate that. I'm glad it's a great idea. I want you to actually do it. I'm going to give you the checklist, and there's a typo in here. I didn't catch it till now, and leaders always fess up to their errors. And I said 1 to 6 days before the event. I meant 8 to 10. So just change that. But you're going to get a checklist and put it into practice. I'm sure it'll work for you. You might check with your broker, 1-800-BROKER, just to make sure there's no buyer inducement laws or something like that. But you're not asking anybody to buy a home. You're just asking them to come in and win a cooler, and maybe they know somebody. So I don't think there's a problem with that. But if disclaimer, if you do, you might want to check with your broker just to make sure. There, I've said it. Okay. What CRM platform do you recommend? Awesome question. That would be the one that you use, is my question or my answer to that usually. If not, I'll just give you my opinion, and based on the clients that I coach, what we'll do. Let me answer one question, Linda, and I'll get right to you. Here's the thing, in order of money, I would say anything, below lower price CRMs. I love Wise Agent. I love Contactually. I love Top Producer. In the middle range, we have Chime. We have Real Geeks. Those are great CRMs. And the higher end things, I think your Boomtown, in my opinion, Boomtown is probably one of the best CRMs out there. If you can afford it, I'd get Boomtown. And depending on what you are in your business and what your team are doing, that depends on what CRM you're using. They're all good. And here's the real thing about CRMs. Not one of them does what you want it to do. Okay. They do some of it, but I've never found somebody totally content with their CRM. It does something that they don't want to do. Yes, Miss Lois, we are emailing the checklist right after this webinar with the replay. So you will get it. Linda, I was a couple of minutes late, so I didn't hear how to get the access to notes. You will get it right after this webinar. Those of you that have attended our webinars in the past, I usually give them out before that. I didn't want to confuse you. I think if I gave you this checklist, you'd be like, what? And that would confuse you more. So I wanted to do it after the webinar. And if you did not make it today, which I see that there's, over 300 people on here, but if you did not make it today, I strongly recommend that you watch the replay. If you did register, you'll also get the notes. Okay. So guys, I really enjoyed making this webinar. I hope that you learned a lot. I hope you take this and actually do it. Don't overthink it. Make it fun. Don't overspend on the value. If you don't have money for a Yeti cooler, don't buy a Yeti cooler, right? Buy something else. Do something. You could give away a $100 Amazon card for all I care. So that would be the advice I would give you. So again, I'm Brad Baldwin with Eisenhower Coaching Consulting, and catch us next month on Webinar Wednesday or Webinar Thursdays. And we also have a coaching live Ask a Coach every Wednesday in our Facebook group, the Real Estate Roundtable. Again, our phone number is 805-980-7027. Call or text if you want information on any of our courses or training programs. Sign up for your 30-minute free strategy session. Love to help you out. It's absolutely not a sales pitch. It is something we're just going to give you a coaching call, see what you like, see what you think about it. And I look forward to talking with you next time. Have a great day.